Hey guys, Caitlin back from Canine, and I know that you guys have been looking for more videos on where to even start with my dog. And a lot of the questions that I get is, how do I start with a prong collar? So Miss Phoebe here has been on a prong collar at home. They let me know is, one that they've tried before, but not a high quality, not the brand that we use. We use exclusively Hermspringer prong collars. So I just properly fitted her to a 2.25 millimeter Hermspringer prong collar, and I'm going to start working with her on it. So we've already done some leash pressure stuff, and she's doing really, really well with that. And now I want to start to introduce her to the prong of the following me. A lot of the questions that I get often is, how do I get a dog to kind of like stick behind me? So the last thing I want you guys to do is like go out for a walk with your dog and try to just get 2 miles in and you're just going forward and forward. If they're still foraging ahead of you, I want you to take a couple steps back and be like, okay, let's get them focused in, let's change direction a lot. So we're not even going to be going on a walk right now. We're just going to do a working session of me showing her exactly what I'm looking for from her. And anytime that she starts kind of forging ahead, I'm going to let her make those mistakes so I can give her information and teach her. That's exactly what training is. We don't want it to be where I'm continuously managing her on the leash, or your own dog. So I want her to get a chance to make some mistakes so that I can educate her. So I'm just going to get started by letting her kind of walk ahead of me. And what you're probably going to see me do is put pressure on the prong collar. As she starts heading my way, I'm going to release it. You might also see a little bit of a popping action. So if I let her get ahead of me, I might pivot and change directions and give a little bit of a pop. And the second that she heads my way, good girl, and I'll reward for that. And then we'll keep doing that until we get a little bit more of a following mode. So we're gonna start up. Ready, girlfriend? All right, let's go. So letting her get ahead of me if she chooses to, turning away. Good. All pressure is released, and I'm going to reward. Now I'm gonna head this way. Good girl. Again, no structured heel at this point, just no pulling me on the leash. Head this direction, pressure, good. She's very, very soft on leash, so I'll definitely show you guys an example of more of a broody dog so that you can see what that would kind of look like. Good, so pressure there. The second she heads my way, I release and say good. Now I'm gonna head this way, and I'm gonna have Casey distract her. So baby talk her, things like that, and then I'm gonna change directions. So go ahead and baby talk her, Case.
Ooh, Phoebe, come here. That's a good girl.
Good. Okay, so we're gonna keep on this way. So as you can see, she's not super broody on the leash. She's not pulling like crazy or anything like that. So I'm gonna start tightening up the position. So side stepping. Good. Pressure as I take a side step. Good. And release as she heads my way. I'm gonna turn into her. Pressure. Good. Released. Sit. Good. Pressure on right before I say the command, and release the second that her tush hits the ground. Yep. Good. You can even provide pressure to your dog if they start lagging behind. So if she's way ahead of me, I'll give a little, come on. Good. And release it as she gets to where I'm looking for. Good. Good. Good girl. So right through all of this, just to continue to keep her attention on me, giving a little bit of leash information, and then as she looks my way, good girl. Good. Head back this way. Good girl. You're making this look too easy, girlfriend. And then this, I will eventually start to tighten up with getting her a little bit more there. Good. With the e-collar combination as well. Good. And that's how I start to shape more of that off-leash reliability. Good. Yep. Good. Sit. Good girl. Good. All right, guys. Hope that helps. Alright guys, I'm going to show you another example of doing some of the pressure and release with the turning with Mr. little bit more of a brute on the leash than Miss Phoebe. He also came on a prong collar. I just refitted him to a Harmspringer versus the one that he came in on, which was much lower and it was bigger prongs. So now we have it up nice and secure and high up on the neck, so that we can be as gentle as possible when utilizing the prong collar. But I can already tell just from walking out of the kennel room that he's definitely more of a brute on the leash, so we'll see what he gives us. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to again let him start to pull ahead, and I'm going to kind of pop and turn away from him. So yeah, let's see what he does. I'm going to start heading that way. Good. 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 See how he's already getting softer on the leash? Good. So I release that pressure immediately as he starts heading my way. Good. Good. Very, very small pops for him. Good. I'm going to change it up for him because he's very smart. He'll probably get a little like predicting, so I'm going to turn it into him this time. Good. Good job, buddy. Again, no structured heel at this point. Good. Good. Very good, Moose. This is a huge relationship builder with dogs. I think a lot of times people get nervous to put pressure on the dog, but he's giving me like a really organic engagement, which is beautiful and exactly what I'm looking for. Good. Good. So kind of popped over to my other side, no problem. Just helped him out there. Good. 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 Starting to give him a little bit of side pressure, seeing what he does with it. Good boy. I'm going to turn into him. Pressure. Good. I use a little bit more of like a popping action versus pressure on and release. Good. Look at how beautiful. You're so smart. Good. Awesome. So that is a very quick run through. Sit. So pressure on. Good. And pressure release the second that he gives me what I'm looking for. So that's just a really quick way of starting to introduce your dog properly to a prong collar, where we're not looking to do like a yanking and cranking or anything like that, but at the same time, sit. Good. I do find that most often a little bit of a popping action tends to be a clearer communication for a dog than just like pulling and hoping that they're going to fall back into that position. They need a little bit more of information so that we can then release the pressure so they don't just feel like a constant pulling towards it. We want them to feel it and like understand also how to turn it off. So he did really, really good. Again, I wasn't looking for like a really tight heel or anything. I just didn't want him dragging me on the leash. And that's how I start the introduction to a prong collar heel. He's doing really, really good. This is day one for him, so nothing crazy. And he's already doing awesome. So I hope that helps you guys. Good job, buddy. Let's go.